Embassies closed, sanctions tightened, and diplomatic relations now sour. Ties between Britain and Iran have entered new, uncharted territory.
If any country makes it impossible for us to operate on their soil, they cannot expect to have a functioning embassy here. This does not amount to the severing of diplomatic relations in their entirety. It is action that reduces our relations with Iran to the lowest level consistent with the maintenance of diplomatic relations.
So, like the British Embassy in Tehran, here too, diplomats are on their way home. And at a time when the UK government is locked in battle with the country's unions and struggling to keep the economy from falling back into recession, it seems to have made its push for further sanctions on Iran a priority, diverting the media's gaze away from problems at home. William Hague blamed Iranian officials for the student protest which overran the British Embassy in Tehran. Iran has described the UK's decision to close its London embassy as hasty and says it will take necessary measures in response. The UK and Iran have a turbulent history. Many Iranians view the UK as an interfering outsider, helping to install the Shah after overthrowing their first democratically elected Prime Minister in 1953. British arms supplies to Saddam Hussein at a time when he used chemical weapons against Iran added to that bitter legacy. Iran's embassy in London has also been attacked several times in the past 3 decades. This video filmed last year shows one of those incidents. Nobody was arrested. And many further attacks against Iranian embassies have taken place across Europe in recent years, with staff injured in some instances. But they've received little media attention. Most recently, the UK has been leading the charge for further sanctions against Iran in coordination with its EU counterparts. But critics say those sanctions will be counterproductive.
These sanctions are a response to the false allegation that Iran is developing a nuclear weapon. So, of course, this is wrong to begin with. But as for the results, of course, they harm ordinary Iranians in Iran. They have always, these sanctions are nothing new. They've been going on for 30 years now. But also, Europe is dependent on Iran oil export. And as you saw in the past few days, many people were on the streets demonstrating, protesting against the really bad economic situation in Europe. So you can imagine, by sanctioning Iran's oil, the price of food and fuel is going to rise up even more.
And although the EU has stepped back from an embargo on Iranian oil, Britain says it will pursue further unilateral sanctions. That comes at a time when Press TV too has found itself under attack from the British establishment. According to the WikiLeaks cables, the UK Foreign Office has for some time been looking at ways to restrict Press TV's licence to operate in London. And in the last few days, the UK's communications regulator Ofcom has decided to fine the channel £100,000 for what it describes as breaches of the broadcasting code. If further sanctions are to be implemented against Iran, they could also take Press TV off the air in the UK. Hassan Ghani, Press TV, London.